Good evening and welcome to Campus USA Credit Union's webinar, Car Buying 101. This is a beginner's guide to purchasing and financing a vehicle. My name is Lindsay and I'll be your host this evening. Joining us as our campus expert is Ashley Williamson. She's one of our service center managers in the Gainesville area. Welcome, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Let's get started. Ashley, you want to talk about what we're going over tonight?
Yeah, so we're going to go over what to know before you shop, the pre-approval process and what all that entails, the purchase process and some tips while you're shopping, and then closing the deal and some key takeaway points. So before you shop, it is a great idea to start at your credit union. This really helps figure out the finance piece of the deal so that when you go to the dealer, all you have to worry about is finding a vehicle. And you have three convenient options to get started. You can stop by your nearest service center, you can apply online, or you can call into our call center.
Yeah, of course, we would say go to your credit union, right? But we definitely recommend, as much as an online application is definitely convenient, if
Mhm.
it's their first time buying a car, and if you're able to try to call or stop in, because it's so nice to just sit down and have a conversation with a representative and cover everything, so you know what to expect throughout the whole process.
Definitely. So, before you shop, you may be asking yourself, what does it mean to get pre approved? Well, this is when you know that you want to buy a car, and you know approximately how much you want to spend, but you haven't started looking for a specific car yet. A pre approval is going to tell you the maximum dollar amount that you're approved for, and the factors we use to determine that approval is your credit report and your annual income. If you plan to trade in a vehicle, this can also change the total amount that you finance, depending on if you own that vehicle free and clear, or if you currently have it financed somewhere else and you may be bringing over some negative equity. This is also when we go over the interest rate you may qualify for based on your credit score, as well as the repayment terms based on your budget. And speaking of budget, just like with any big purchase, your budget is an extremely important factor to figure in with getting a vehicle loan. As I mentioned in the last slide, part of the pre approval process is deciding on a loan term that ensures that you have a comfortable monthly payment since you're going to have this loan for a couple years. So, some key factors to keep in mind when determining what budget works for you is your current monthly expenses, the changing cost of your insurance, depending on if you're getting a newer vehicle, that could change the cost of your insurance premium, as well as fuel and vehicle maintenance costs. Especially if you're upgrading to a larger vehicle, that could mean a more expensive fuel budget, or your routine things like oil change, those could be a higher cost. So, knowing your budget ahead of time before going to the dealer helps to make sure that you don't fall in love with a car that's outside of your budget.
Really good point. And this is a great time for a really quick pop quiz. So this is concerning your financing repayment terms. So financing an auto loan over a longer period of time will do two things. So there's two right answers to this, and your options are increases your monthly payment, increases the amount you pay in interest, decreases your monthly payment, and decreases the amount you pay in interest. So, and the answers to this poll, to the quiz. So financing your auto loan for a longer period of time will increase the amount of interest you pay over the life of your loan. However, it does decrease your monthly payment. So tell us how this is beneficial to someone's budget, Ashley.
So this is going to be really crucial when determining what you're comfortable with month to month. Because, like we said, you could have this vehicle loan for 5, 6 years, and you want to make sure that that monthly obligation is something that you can keep up with for that span of the loan. So that's where the benefit of having that longer loan term available to you really comes into play. Because the option of paying just a little bit more in interest in order to ensure that you can maintain that comfortable monthly payment is really important when thinking about your budget.
Definitely. You can always pay a little bit extra on your auto loan, but it's not really an option to pay a little less. So
Right.
don't over obligate yourself. Don't stretch your budget too much for sure.
Definitely. So, when considering what vehicle is best for you, you can consider buying a used vehicle. Used vehicle is still a new vehicle to you, and there's some pros and cons to the idea of a used vehicle. Generally speaking, it's typically a lower sticker price. So, that in turn means that you're going to finance a lower amount. So, therefore, you could pay it off quicker. And just because it's used, there's still some high quality options out there, and you tend to have a lower insurance premium with those used vehicles. On the other hand, being that it is used, the reliability is something to consider. It can have more wear and tear on it, more mileage. Because of that higher mileage, it may no longer qualify for factory warranty or extended warranty. You may have some limited choices, and because it is an older year vehicle, the interest rate on your loan is going to be higher. And then that vehicle history. So just making sure that you know what's happened in the life of that vehicle and that still a good vehicle.
And honestly, there are so many great options out there. I mean, you can even find a used vehicle with less than 10,000 miles on it. You've just really got to look. And, for me, it's all about, the personal preference. So I would rather have a lower purchase price than having all the bells and whistles. So really just depends on the buyer.
It does. So, some shopping tips when you are ready to get started. It's really important to consider your options and shop around for a vehicle. Even if you have a car in mind, you really want to make sure that you're reviewing all of your options. You can look online, you can head to the dealer. This is going to be a great time to be able to test drive the vehicle, make sure you're comfortable with it, visually inspect it for any noticeable damage, and just really make sure that this is a vehicle that fits you. And as we mentioned, budget again is extremely important. One key piece to keep in mind when you're at the dealer is that sticker price that you may see on the vehicle is not actually the amount that you're financing. It's most likely going to be more. So you have
Hmm.
to take into account sales tax, dealer fees, added products. Those are something to take into account for your monthly costs at the end of the loan. And then some other factors to consider when you're looking around and doing your research, it's really important to consider some questions. Is it a safe and reliable car? What safety features does it have? What's the vehicle history? Is it fuel efficient? This is all information that the dealer can provide to you, or you can research online.
Those are a lot of really helpful tips.
So, one really important tool that you can utilize is the consumer reports. It's a way to ensure that you are getting both a reliable and an unbiased report. It's going to tell you if there was any recalls on the vehicle, what's the average retail price for that vehicle right now to ensure that you're getting a fair price at the dealer. You can compare vehicles that are similar to the one that you're looking at and also check the safety ratings. With the Consumer Reports site, it is a $10 fee to utilize it, but it's a really great thing when you think you can just pay for it for the 1 month that you're car shopping, check all the factors on your vehicle, get that peace of mind, and then just simply cancel so you're not paying
Hmm.
that month-to-month subscription.
Definitely. And as a mom, when I'm shopping for cars, I definitely have a lot of things in mind, not just, what it looks like on the outside, but I want to make sure my kids are safe. And this is a great resource and it's worth $10 a month for me to, just make sure that I have access to all that information. So
Really
great,
gives you that
great
peace of
tip.
mind.
Yeah.
So when you're looking to get a loan, you actually have the option to you of some add-on products to further cover your loan. So we'll get into more detail with each of these, but we're going to cover warranty, what the difference between having it on a new or used vehicle, payment protection and what that means, and GAP, which is guaranteed asset protection. So to get started with extended warranties, auto warranty is a product that can be purchased either directly from the dealer or from your loan officer here at campus. It's really important that you are looking over that contract to see what it covers. But an extended warranty is an added on product that's financed into that monthly payment that can really help you plan for those unexpected vehicle repairs. And sometimes, really, depending on the repair, it could pay for the product itself. But you really do want to make sure that you keep in mind that if it is an older vehicle that has higher miles on it, that it may not cover as much with that warranty, so make sure you're looking that contract over before deciding to add that product on.
This is such a great investment, especially for newer vehicles. Well, it's good for older vehicles too, but your manufacturer's warranty is only going to cover you so much. And with one major repair, like a transmission, honestly, it does pay for itself, and it's really affordable whenever it's broken down into payments.
Yeah, it definitely helps it a lot.
Yeah.
So payment protection is actually a add-on product that is exclusive to the credit union, and it is going to cover you in three different tiers: the event of death, disability, or involuntary unemployment. It just really provides that peace of mind that your loan payment will be taken care of in the event that any of these unexpected life events happened. And the last add on product is called Guaranteed Asset Protection, which is commonly referred to as gap insurance. This is a really great tool and add on product to have in the event that your vehicle was totaled and deemed a loss by your insurance company. After your insurance company files the claim and covers part of the loan that they're going to pay, if you're left with any remaining balance or a gap in the payoff, that's where this insurance comes into play. It's going to pay off that loan so that you're not left making those month to month payments for a vehicle loan with a vehicle you can't even drive anymore.
Oh gosh. And we have seen this happen to members, and honestly, that it is a minimal cost compared to what how messy it can be if you're in that situation for sure.
So we've gone over the pre-approval process and how to get started. So you may be asking yourself, what is a pre-approved draft, or what is it that I take with me to the dealer? So the best way to think of a pre-approved draft, if it's like a blank check, good up to that maximum loan amount that we approved you for. So that's going to be disclosed on the draft for you. But once you've found a vehicle, figured out that out the door price, you're going to fill this out just like you would a check made payable to the dealer for that final out the door price. You sign it and hand it to the dealer, and that's it. It's really that easy.
It's so simple. It saves you so much time at the dealership, and knowing right away, before even purchasing your vehicle, what your term is going to be, what your loan payment is going to be, just makes the whole process a little less stressful.
It does, for sure. So you've used your draft, you found a vehicle. Now it's time to prepare for the purchase. But before we do that, we actually have another pop quiz.
All right, and this one is about Carfax reports. So, what information is listed in a vehicle's Carfax report? And this is multiple choice, but there are several right answers. Ownership history, repair and maintenance history, current loan balance, and title history. So we'll go ahead and share the results. And the correct answer is ownership history, repair and maintenance history, and title history. If you are at the dealership, there should not be a current loan balance on a vehicle you're looking to purchase. So
No.
that's kind of a trick. Definitely want to make sure there's no current loan or lien on a vehicle you're purchasing.
Definitely not. So Carfax is similar to Consumer Report. They kind of go hand in hand, but it's going to give you a different kind of report. So as we saw in the quiz, it's going to really give you that accident history, maintenance history. So this plus the Consumer Report is going to give you a really full picture on just what's happened to this vehicle that you're purchasing to make sure that you're comfortable with that vehicle. So something else to consider with preparing for the purchase is the price negotiation. Being that you have a pre-approved draft, you're essentially considered a cash buyer. So that really gives you that room to negotiate the price with the dealer to make sure you feel that you're paying a fair price for that vehicle. And then lastly, once you've been handed your contract, you really want to make sure that you look that over, make sure that you don't have any questions, see any discrepancies of something that was previously discussed. You just want to make sure that you're really comfortable before you sign that contract.
Definitely. And always remember that if you're working with a representative, feel free to give them a call. That's what they're there for. They're there to see you throughout the entire process from application to you driving off the lot.
So part of the contract is going to be a document like this called a buyer's order. And this is a really important document to make sure that you review, because what this is going to do is break down every cost included in the purchase. You'll notice at the top, it starts with that initial sticker price that you saw, and then include sales tax, dealer fees, DMV fees, any add-on products you may have elected for, like that gap or warranty we talked about. And then at the bottom, it's going to show you if you decided to put any cash down, maybe you had a trade in, it's going to show you what that dealer offered you for a trade. And then that very bottom line, that total balance due, that's going to be the amount that you actually finance with Campus. So you want to make sure that you look all these numbers over. And if you have any questions about anything on this, don't hesitate to ask the dealer.
Yeah, this is such a good example to show how different the sticker price can be compared to the actual financed amount. Um, 12,500, you're putting down 2,500, you're thinking, I need a loan for $10,000. Well, you usually need a little bit more than that.
Right.
And pay attention to the breakdown of these costs. And every dealer might have some slight differences. Their dealer fees maybe a little bit higher, a little lower. Some dealers don't charge a dealer fee or delivery fee. So definitely look through this line by line.
So now that you have used your draft, you found a vehicle, you've signed all your documents. Now that you're done with the purchase, it's really important that you keep a copy of all of your signed documents, that contract, any contracts you may have had from the add-on products. Just maintain all of those copies for your records, just in case at any time you ever need to reference them. And whenever you do purchase a vehicle from the dealer, they actually handle all of the title work for you. So it only further simplifies the process, but they'll take care of registering the vehicle with the DMV and mailing you a copy of your registration and your up-to-date tag. And then the last step is that you can actually reach back out to us, your loan officer at Campus, to make sure that you can get those payments set up. We offer several convenient options for you to make your loan payment. You can either do that online, set them up on automatic payments. So you don't even have to think about it, set them up with your bill pay, really whatever is the most convenient option for you. All right, so just kind of recap what we went over tonight, review your budget. As we discussed, that's a really important piece to make sure that you are comfortable with a budget that works for you, since you're going to have this loan for quite a few years. Take into account your monthly expenses, added on costs. Make sure that you do your research. There's so many tools available to you, like that consumer report, to make sure that you really are thoroughly checking the vehicle that you're getting. Be thorough during the purchase process, ask questions, do your research, utilize Carfax. If you ever are worried about any part of it, reach out to the dealer or your loan officer. And lastly, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. It's a really fun process. You're getting a car, it's an exciting time. So just make sure you take the time to enjoy it as well.
Definitely. And when you're done, come back to the credit union and show us your new ride, because it's just as
Yeah.
much fun for your loan officer as it is for you, really. We love seeing that process from start to finish, and it's really rewarding. So it's fun.
Yeah, we're really happy for you.
Mhm. Okay, so that is the conclusion of our webinar tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Ashley, thank you so much for bringing so much information with you tonight and sharing your expertise with us and our attendees. We don't have any chats or questions or comments in the chat box. So if you think of anything, please feel free to reach us at feedback@campuscu.com. And at the conclusion of this webinar, there will be a short survey. So if you don't mind sharing a little feedback on the content of this webinar, and if you have any suggestions for future webinar topics, we'd love to hear them. Again, thank you so much. And thank you, Ashley. And We'll see you next time.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me. Have a
Th-
wonderful night.
Thanks, you too.